Okay, it's 8:02, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Thank you all for joining us for the Optimist Institute Training Tuesday. I'm going to hand it over to our governor, Kathy Forster, to do her welcome.
Welcome, everybody, to our first Training Tuesday, and I'm so glad that we have Heather Myers with us to go over the Optimist Institute. And it's a wonderful program, and I hope y'all find out how you can really get involved on the Optimist Institute and learn lots. Thank you.
Hey, Heather, it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to join you all tonight. I do want to start by saying I have two dogs in the background and no one else to watch them. So I apologize if you hear barking, as one just started now. So hopefully they're not too disturbing. Anyway, we are here tonight to go over the Optimist Institute. The Optimist Institute is a training site that we have for Optimist International. It is not just for officers, and you'll hear me say that multiple times tonight. It does house our officer training. However, it also houses a ton of other things, other trainings and other items that are super beneficial for folks. So I will make sure that we take a look at those so that you know how to find those. But the most important thing before we even can find stuff in there is that we can get into the Optimist Institute. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And that's it right there. Ideally, at this point, you are all looking at the main page of the Optimist Institute. It should be rotating through a few slides. The landing page is what you'll always come to. The easiest way to get here, there is a lovely way that you can click through 14 places on the Optimist website. That's not the easy way. The easy way is if you go to your web browser and you type optimistinstitute.org. It'll bring you right to this page. It makes it super simple. Our IT, Tom Carver in our IT department created that for us so that it brought you right here to make it easier. And hopefully it's the easiest way to access for everyone. So that's the best way to do this, optimistinstitute.org. I'm going to show you first how to register if you've never been here, because I do know we have lots of folks who've never been on here. If you've registered once, you never need to register again the way that I'm going to show you right now. Okay. If you've never registered ever since I think it started in 2019, then you will need to do this the first time. So in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, there's a register button. All you need to do is click that. And then you will see that there are 3 options for subscriptions. We will see this start to grow as we start to branch to more of our members. You'll see that if any of you've done this prior to probably mid-October or early October, there were only 2 options. It was for Optimist Club members and friends. We have added our college club members to this as well. So they do have a separate way to register. I'm going to walk through the member registration tonight. If any of you happen to be college club members, reach out directly to me and I'll make sure that you get that because it is a separate passcode. We do have to have this passcode protected. Otherwise, anyone can register. Like if they find the site and they click the button, they could get in. You all are paying dues. This is part of what you get as a benefit for some of your dues. And so we want to make sure that it is for you folks. So you'll go under the one that says Optimist Club member registration. At the bottom of that box, there's a click here to subscribe. And this is where it asks you for the passcode. And what did we decide? Are we putting it in the box or am I just saying it and we're going to bleep it out? We'll just go with it. If you need help with editing the video, you let me know. So this year's passcode, it does change every summer. It changes in the summer when we do all the tweaks in the middle of the summer, because quite frankly, it's the only time of year we have time to make tweaks. So you need to use your name, obviously, first and last, and your email. If you do not put an email address that you have access to in here, you will never be able to reset your password. I cannot reset your password. The system has changed. So we do need you to make sure that your email address is in here so that you can reset your password should you have a problem. We also ask that your username match your email exactly. So if your email is joesmith@yahoo.com, your username should be joesmith@yahoo.com. If you do not put the same thing in those two boxes, within 48 hours, the system is set to switch it. So your username will become your email address. So if you try to get in and you're going, I know that my username was best mom ever, and you can't get in, put your email address in that username box because it already switched. Okay. You can choose your own password. At this point, there are no restrictions on the passwords, so you don't have to have like 45 characters and mixes of numbers and letters and capitals. Just a password that you can easily remember. It doesn't make you change it every so many months or anything. So if you make it whatever you want, something easy to remember, because some of you may not use the system on a regular basis. Some of you may get in here tonight or see tonight and be like, I want to be in there all the time. And it's easier to remember your password. But so make sure it's something you can remember. We do ask for your address. And that is simply because if at any point we start to have extra pieces that can be purchased, we don't know that we're going to do that, but the system will require that address. So we're getting it there now to make it easier for you. Also, we've got lots of members who share names. Like you have the same name, but one of you may live in Georgia and one of you may live in Colorado. This is the only way sometimes that I can tell the difference between two members. So that address is important, so that I have the ability to distinguish between those members and know that, Sally, whatever, I'm not good at making up names, but Smith, we'll go with Smith again. Sally Smith is not, there's two accounts in that name, but they are actually two different people because they live in two separate locations. Okay. We do also have a spot here for you to put a nickname. And that is totally optional, but some people, they register with their full name, but then they're like, I don't go by that name and nobody's going to know who I am if I'm doing anything in here. And so you can put a nickname in there. We do ask for your club number as well. It is a 5-digit number. That's the only piece you have to put is your club number. If you know your member number, you can put that in the next box. We also have spots for additional club numbers here, and you may put up to 6 total. I think I checked, and the most anybody needed was like 4 or 5, so there's an extra one there just in case. But we ask that you put any club number you're in, because if you become an officer in one of those clubs, let's say you're in 3 clubs and club number 2 and club number 3 find out that you're the CFR for club number 1, and they say, hey, since you're already doing it, would you do it for us too? You only have to take training 1 time because it counts for all 3 of those clubs. But we want to make sure the numbers are in there, make sure that those clubs are getting credit. So that is why we give you the spaces for the extra clubs. Once you have all that information in, you click here to subscribe, and you will be subscribed. And that's the only time you ever have to fill this really long form out. It's registered. Then you are able to log in. And to log in, all you do is click on this login button here at the top, again in the top right. And then you enter your username and your password, and it will take you in. It should not take me there, but I left from a weird space. And it'll take you right here. This is the dashboard. Everyone, when you log in, you will have your own dashboard, and everyone should see, for example, on my screen, the first person that I see is Linda Kelly. The top of her Optimist Institute should say, welcome to the Optimist Institute, Linda. So it is personalized for each of you, okay? There are a couple of spots here on the dashboard that I'm going to show you prior to me showing you how to renew your subscription. The one is the badges. There are not badges for every course. If you used this system a couple of years ago, I think pretty much every course had a badge. However, there weren't very many courses, and those badges are very time consuming to create. At this point, the only courses that have badges are the PDP courses, or each level for the PDP has a badge. The Optimist Leadership Academy is now part of the Optimist Institute, and they have badges by the month, which I'll explain that in a minute. If you've done that, that makes sense. If you've done OLA, that made no sense to you, but I will explain that. And then PGI will be going on here in a few months as well, and each level for that will also have a badge. Excuse me. The other piece that's here is certificates. Again, not all courses have certificates. In my spare time, I am going to go back and create certificates for all those courses. Right now, it's the ones that people kind of have to, in some places, prove that you've taken them. So the officer courses have certificates. Again, PDP, PGI. So those will have the certificates, but we will make sure that we get the rest of them on there as we go. It just will take some time as we continue to build the system out, okay? And the other piece that you will see when you first log in are these checklists. Now, if you have not logged in a long time, you've got a whole laundry list of checklists. I don't have very many because I've done them all, because I have to make sure everything works. But I do have this one here that I did all the stuff, and then I put the checklist in so I could have one as an example for folks. But there is a checklist for every office that, or every officer role that has a training. There is also a checklist for, a checklist was created that actually includes all of the leadership development webinars that are offered by Optimist International. And so it's a very easy, you've got the webinar, and out to the right, there's a little arrow you can click on, and it'll take you right to the registration link. So we did that to make it a little easier for folks to register so that you didn't have to wait on an email to come or try to creatively find them on the website or any of those kinds of things. So we tried to put them in here to make them really simple for you as well. If you get in here and you say, wait a minute, I'm not the district governor, why do I have the district governor checklist? Everybody can see the district governor checklist. The other piece of that is, if you are contemplating taking an office, be that club president, secretary, treasurer, or CFR, or a district level governor, lieutenant governor, a district secretary, district treasurer, you can see the kinds of trainings that are required, which is nice because you'll know, okay, this looks like I've got, for example, the district governor, they're recommended, they're not necessarily required. President Tracy had recommended that some of these were taken. And so there's 4 of them for governors, and you've got almost a year to get them done. They start in May. They launch May 1st, and you have to do them by the end of March. So that's a long time to take 4 courses that are about 10 minutes each. So you've got plenty of time there to get all those done. Okay, but you can see what other offices may require. All right, so let's now go through, because we did go through you're new, you've never registered. Let's go through you've registered, but you can't see anything when you get in here. You go to courses and none of them are listed, or everything says you don't have access to it. If that happens, that means you need a new subscription for the current year. And all you need to do is go to the left-hand side of your screen, scroll down almost all the way to the bottom where it says subscriptions, and click there. And you're going to see a page that looks really, really familiar. This looks just like the page that you get to when you are out and registering for the first time. The difference is you are logged in, so it knows that it's adding it to your account. You'll use the same link over here for Optimist Club member registration. You still click on the click here to subscribe button. You use the same exact passcode. We didn't change it. We made it simple. We use the same thing over and over again for the year. The resubscription form, which, as you can tell, is much shorter than the initial registration form was. It's asking that, do you commonly use another name in place of your full first name? And that's because that was new when we added that in the summer. And so we wanted to make sure anybody who didn't have that in there already had the ability to put that in. It does ask you to reconfirm your club number as well as member number and any additional club numbers you have. These here that say if only in one club, leave this blank. These should all say club number 2, club 3, club 4. I don't know why they don't, so I'll fix that on the back end. But all you need to do is, again, reconfirm this stuff. The only thing you absolutely have to do is reconfirm your club number and then click subscribe, and that will renew your subscription for a year. It is a calendar year, so if you do it today, your subscription will go through next year. It'll go through November 13th of 2024. You can renew at the beginning of the Optimist year if you want to get yourself on that schedule, but you don't have to. So for example, if you signed up for a subscription last March, in March of 23, you're good through March of 24. You can take any courses now without resubscribing, okay? So don't think that just because the Optimist year changed, you have to change. You just have to make sure you renew your subscription once per year, okay? All right, so now that we know how to get in here, let me show you some of the other things. We've already talked about the dashboard, but the important pieces, what's in here, is what we want to make sure that you know how to get to. And so everything will be navigated through this blue menu bar on the left-hand side. I have noticed sometimes that menu bar disappears. And it's because somebody accidentally clicks up here on the top left corner on these little, we call these hamburger menus. If you click there, that menu bar will go away. So you just need to click there again and it comes right back, okay? So if you don't see the blue menu on the left-hand side of your screen, all you need to do is click the big gold button at the top by the Optimist International logo, and your menu will reappear for you. So we're going to walk through a few of these. I will have a couple over here that you don't see, and that's simply because I'm the admin for the system, so I've got some extra stuff. But we do have a courses button. All of our courses are listed under the courses area. Now, if you start to scroll, you're going to get real nervous because there's a whole lot of stuff. And we're, I think, on the 5th page at this point of courses, and they hold 32, and I think we've almost filled this 5th page. So the easiest way to navigate our courses is to go here in the center where it says category, and there is a drop down, and you can select the category that you're looking for. So if you are looking for officer courses, if you're the club secretary and you know you need to take the secretary course, you can use the category. You go to officer courses. Once it says that, you click the gold search button, and all you will see are the required officer trainings. Now you will see them all, so you'll have to find the one or the ones for your position. We did do something a little different this year with the officer courses. So for those of you who've been officers in the past, or maybe you've been officer a couple of years in a row, and you're like, okay, I'm the secretary and I'm the CFR, and I keep taking the goal setting training in both of those. I take it for secretaries, I take it for CFRs, and I'm looking at the same thing. We have pulled a few of those same lessons out and made them their own courses to make it easier for you and a little less time consuming for you. Communication training, it's the same for every office, so it's a separate course this year. Goal setting is the same for every office. It's a separate course this year. If you are a secretary and not a treasurer, you have your own course. Same with if you are a treasurer and not a secretary, you have your own course. There is also the course combined, secretary treasurer. So there are 3 options if you hold those positions. If you hold both positions, you would take the secretary treasurer combined course. If you are just the secretary, you can take the secretary part. If you're just the treasurer, you can take the treasurer part. Again, we're trying to make this a little less time consuming for you all and to make sure that we're targeting the exact information that you need. You are more than welcome to take any course that's in here. It is open to you, but the only one you have to take, for example, if you are the club treasurer, would be the 23-24 club treasurer training. And at the end of that training, it's going to tell you which of the other ones you need to take. It is communication, it is goal setting, and it is also somewhere down here, there is a care for club and district officers, all officers, that's blanketed to all officers. President Tracy wanted to make sure we had as many people trained in that as possible. There's also, we've added leaders training. The leaders for club officers is specifically for presidents and secretaries or secretary treasurers. The leaders for district officers is for district governors and district secretaries or district secretary treasurers, because those are the folks that have the access to change club member information, change officers, those kinds of things. And that's what that is focused on. Okay. But this system is for way more than just officers. So let's take a look at some of the other things we have, because there's a lot of really great programs or trainings in here at this point. We've got things from everything from club operations to personal leadership development and lots of other stuff going on. So we do have, I'm going to show you a few of the categories. I'm not going to walk you through them all because we'd be here all night. But for example, under club operations, we've got things like succession planning, which can be used for your club, but it could also be used anywhere else. So, you know, if you work with a group at your church and you're struggling with replacing board members or officers or whatever, maybe that succession planning course could help with that. So it's not just for Optimist stuff, okay? There is a course on bylaws and policies that's very Optimist specific, obviously. But we've got some other stuff in here too. And we do have sections where you're going to see everything still says coming soon because we're still working on building this out. I am a one-person department. I have a few volunteers that are helping, which I appreciate so incredibly much. But they are also busy with other things too. So pushing courses out can take a little bit of time. But we do have, for example, the diversity, equity, and inclusion courses. Right now, we're working on some generational differences, and particularly focused on things like oh, I can't even think of it. Like Gen X and baby boomers. I cannot think of the right word, but we're focused on that in that generational differences course. We're going to focus on some a pronoun course as well. And there's some other stuff going on. We want to make sure that you're not only very comfortable working with all ages in your club, but also very comfortable working with our youth and the differences that our youth are now, that we're seeing in our youth now that maybe we didn't see in ourselves as we were growing up. So that's where we're going to put a lot of that diversity and equity stuff. We also have some leadership skills and leadership. We have a leadership series and leadership skills. So the leadership skills courses are things like change and time management and communication. These are open to everyone. And then we do have a series called Leadership Matters as well. The Leadership Matters series will also be part of the new PGI, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So you'll see some of those they're already in here. Some of them are coming soon. If you're planning to start the PGI once we get the new one up and launched on here, hold off on these because you're gonna have to do them anyway. So instead of having to redo them, unless you want to do them and then do them again, that's fine. So we do have some leadership stuff in here. Again, it's not Optimist specific. It is very general in helping yourselves develop your own personal skills. We do have courses that are about Optimist International. You can learn just about anything about Optimist International in here, from our foundations to our programs, our sponsored programs that we hold. So there's lots of information in here on OI. This is great information for new members as well. So if you have a new member, if you have a friend that you bring in as a new member, this is a great place for them to start so they can learn more about OI. There's also things on, there's some organizational development courses. And in here, you'll see things like taking minutes and chairing a meeting. Robert's Rules of Order is in here. And so some of these are some short videos that we found from a pretty reputable company that we were able to utilize. Actually, the Robert's Rules revealed when I utilized her videos, she emailed me personally, the woman emailed me personally and said, my dad was an Optimist when I was growing up. So that was kind of a neat little connection when we chose her videos. You'll also see in here the Professional Development Plan, or the PDP, is located in here. It is in here by step, by level. And while you can get to any level, it does make the most sense to start at level 1 and work your way through. Each level, and we're currently working on a sheet that we can get posted for everyone so that you can kind of see what you have to do by the level, and you don't have to keep coming back in here and print the sheet out and you'll have it. But when you go into each one of these, you will know at the top of each of them, they all say the same thing. It does say that in order for to be approved, all activities for the PDP have to have been completed within a year of submitting them. So we're asking that you don't submit something from like 2016 now. It should be submitted something that's more current. And also, if you have, there are sometimes where you have to submit, like you had to bring for example, one of the things is bringing a guest to a meeting or to an activity. You have to submit a form, and somebody is supposed to sign that. It should be your club president, your club secretary, someone like that. However, if you are the club president, you cannot sign your own form. So that's why there's more than one person that can sign those forms. Okay. But this is the full level. So I think I went into level 2. Yeah. This is everything you need to do for level 2. It's all on one page. It used to be go do this, and then you had to come back here and you had to go out and find it. It was hard. So we've restructured it in here to make it really simple. So when it says to watch this video, you click there and it goes directly to the video, and all you have to do is watch it and then you're done. Okay. So, and then you can easily get back to the course and you can continue going. You can do these, the PDP and the PGI will be set up the same way. These are the only courses that you can kind of jump around and do maybe lesson 6 before you do lesson 2. Most of them you do have to do the lessons in order, but we know with the PDP and again with the PGI, sometimes working specifically in the numbered order isn't exactly the easiest. You might get something done. For example, you might be able to prepare a press release before you can serve as a project committee member. So, we want to make sure that you can do stuff in any order that you need to. Okay. I did mention that PGI is going to be on here as well. It is President Bob, or past President Bob, had tasked his leadership development committee with revamping the PGI because it was a little on the outdated side. Some of the things that you need to do in some of the upper levels don't even exist anymore. And so we are finishing that process now. It is the 22-23 LD committee is finishing that process now. We should have that completely redone within the next probably month or so, and then it will take me a little bit of time to get online, but it will be on here. It will have its own list. It'll be listed right in here. All these are in alphabetical order, and so we'll have a place in here for the personal growth and involvement plan as well. And it'll be set up just like the PDP course just was. So everything you need to do for one level will all be within one course, and you'll see it all in line, and you can do them in any order. Okay. And then the other piece I do want to show you before I open up for any questions you may have, under technical development courses, this is a section that we are in the process of really kind of beefing up, but there is a little bit of personal at-home online use, some tips, but we do have this series on Microsoft Office. We know a lot of our clubs use Microsoft Office, but maybe everyone isn't always super proficient in it. And so they kind of stumble through. So we've got a lot of courses that will be coming. Right now there's just an intro to Excel, but we will have a bunch more here in Excel, Word, PowerPoint as well. And then we've got some things on Zoom. We do have a couple of Facebook courses that recently launched. There'll be an Instagram course, things that are technical, computer skills, if you will, that will really help you with your club. But also a lot of this office stuff can help you with other things too. That's not Optimist specific. But these Facebook, particularly the Facebook group and the Facebook page course, that is to create a group so that you have a group to communicate with your members. And then the page would be a page so that you can market your group to the community, or your club to the community. So that's what those two are there. And again, I said they went online, I believe, Friday. So they're very, very new. So we've got lots of stuff, again, lots of things coming, particularly in this technical development area. But there are a lot of courses on here. We did move the Optimist Leadership Academy. I know I mentioned that earlier. So for those of you who maybe have participated in that in the past, it used to be a one-day program right before convention. It is now a 9-month program. It starts in October and it goes through June. So we still have that day prior to convention. But the rest of the program is online. And so we do a lot of stuff here. There are courses that they do within the Optimist Institute. There's some discussion boards where they can communicate back and forth with each other. There's some readings that they do. They have a monthly webinar with a leader. There's a couple of Optimist leaders that we have, but we're pulling a lot of people in from outside of the Optimist community as well. So we're really excited to pilot that new program this year, and really kind of strengthen a lot of our emerging leaders. Also in the Optimist Institute, you will see the Optimist Media Library. The Optimist Media Library will give you the recordings of all of the leadership development webinars. And then, for example, we had the bylaws webinar because there was new bylaws for this year. So that came in here. Anything changing and adding club officers, how to create and change your club bylaws online. Some of those we did in the spring. We left those up for you. But these will always be the webinars. We do remove them at the end of the president year if they were things directly for that year. We did leave the changing and adding club officers and district officers and bylaws because that stuff it doesn't change. But like last year's LD webinars all came down, and now the new ones are going to start to go up, or have started to go up. There's also a section on here of quick reference guides. This is a section for members to be able to access step-by-step with pictures guides on how to do lots of things. So it might be accessing documents on care and how to present the care program in your club. There's some PowerPoint information on here. You will how to create a new Optimist Institute account is on here. How to renew your subscription is on here. So if you can't do it, if somebody says, I don't know how to do this, and you don't remember, the guides are on here. All you need to do is come in here and you can open this, and the step-by-step on how to create a new Optimist Institute account will pop up. And you can walk them right through it step-by-step with pictures, okay? And then there's lots of other stuff on here as well. The convention recordings are all located. We'll show you that button in a minute, but how to do pretty much anything you can want to do, or maybe not want to do, but have to do online. Your COER report, how to do that. How to do your Club Pride report. Everything is in here with a quick reference guide that you can easily access. You can save it if you need to. You can print it out if you need to so that you have it. You can hold it in your hand. And hopefully this will help lots of you with all of the things that need to happen throughout the year. The other pieces I want to point out, inspiration. This is just a fun little area where you can see some fun little videos that might make you smile. There's lots of stuff from kids. There's some stuff on pets. This is just a little area to de-stress, really, is what that is. Similar to, you may have seen, if you are a Facebook member, you may have seen we post weekly Motivation Monday and Wisdom Wednesday. It's the same kind of idea, just some things to make you smile. And the last piece I want to show you over here is the convention area. And so this stuff will stay for a while. We will eventually remove it because we'll have a new convention. But all of the sessions are on here. So the opening session, we do have the keynote speakers separated out. So if you maybe weren't there, or maybe you were and you just want to watch one of those keynotes again, you can do that. You can watch the full sessions that were on here. And then also in here are the handouts from any of the workshops that were done that we were provided the handout information for. So there's some on the Optimist Institute, district secretary, district growth chair, parliamentary procedure. Leaders had tons of handouts, and then the OIF grants. So, and I don't know if that says, oh, there must be more because it says load more. Nope, that's it. So yes, so lots of information on the Optimist Institute that you can easily access as long as you have a subscription. So with that, what questions do any of you have for me? Because I have been giving you lots of info, but there, I'm sure, are questions. And so I'm happy to answer any of those questions for you. Yes, sir. Albert, I see your hand waving at me.
Hey, not really a question, but I do have a suggestion. And that suggestion is, would you consider adding some icons or menu structure for new members? This really looks like an excellent place to introduce new members to the Optimist Club. And I noticed there's a section called New Club Series, and probably most of that information would be valuable to a new member in an existing club. So that's my suggestion.
Some of it can be, but it is very like the financial structure of how to set up your finances. It is very club based. That new club series. The place to go for a new club member, like I said while I was presenting, is that the Optimist. I have to look at see what they're called because I forget. I have a lot of information in my head. The Optimist, where is it? Learn about Optimist International. I know I pointed that section out, and that is where it really walks you through every piece. It walks you through the foundation pieces. It walks you through the programs. It walks you through joy and golf and all of those things. I'm going to create an OWLS course as well. We know the OWLS program is a pilot, but we're going to have a pilot course so that people know what that's like. But there's really nothing that isn't good on there for a new member. So all of those courses really can be very, very helpful to new members.
Okay, but I'm not sure you really understood what I'm suggesting, and that is a place maybe on the homepage that a new member could click and get led to that information that you're talking about.
So if I could recode the system, I would love to do something like that. Unfortunately, I am limited. The system allows me to do. We don't own the system. We do buy the system from a company, and they do all the coding and they do all that stuff. But when it comes to kind of a one-off like that, they say, yeah, that's a great suggestion. We'll look at it when we're done building out our system. So that's something that unfortunately the system just doesn't let me do. Which is why I put in the drop-down structure in all the courses so that you could categorize. Because before, when I took the system over, you went to courses and you saw all the courses, no way to sort them or filter anything out. So I did do that filtering system to try to make it a little simpler, because I got in there and I went, what is this? There's a lot of stuff and I can't find anything. So if I can't find it, how are our members finding it? So we do as much as we can by using the filtering piece in the courses. At this point, that is what the system will allow for us to do. What other questions do folks have? Y'all are quiet. Did I confuse you all? Is that why you're not asking anything? Okay, I'm seeing some no's. Yes, Deanna, I see
Heather,
you.
can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So if people have difficulties, they should email you at Optimist International.
Yes.
When they
The-
have difficulties, kind of run us through what you do to solve the issue. Do you
Sure.
go to their homepage, or do you try to solve it on the back end? What do you do?
Sure. So the best way to get to me is institute@optimist.org. I'm the only one that gets those messages, and they're the first ones I check during the day. And I'm not going to lie, my own email is kind of a train wreck right now. So institute@optimist.org, there are 4 things sitting in that inbox as of today when I left work. So that's the best place to filter emails to for me, because I see them very easily. And then depending on the more information you give me, the easier I can help you. If you just tell me you can't get in or it doesn't work, I have a lot of questions and I'm probably going to frustrate you before I can help you. So if you can tell me exactly what it's doing, for example, earlier when I said, if you log in and you can't see any courses, or you get in there and the only thing it says is you don't have access to take that course, I know right away what your problem is. And I can very easily help you with that problem. But the more information you give me in that email, the better. I will also tell you this, 99% of phone calls that I get, I have to email something. So email me, because I will be able to get to you quicker. And you will get you'll get a response much faster from me via email. So shoot me an email as opposed to trying to pick up the phone and call me, because usually I can't do much over the phone. But I almost always have to send an email about something. So it's much easier if you send emails for me. I also am in meetings a lot and I'm recording a lot. So my phone is turned off if I'm recording. So I don't always get, and there's something wrong with my phone. I got a voicemail today that was left for me on November 6th. So I apologize profusely when I called the woman back. But so that's why I say email me. It's much more reliable. I get it quicker. My phone is on the Wi-Fi in our building as opposed to plugged in because of where my office sits. So I think that's my phone problem.
So Heather, what do you think is your most common problem?
My most
A
common
member's most
problem,
common problem. Yeah.
most common problems, there's 2. Username, you're trying to use something that isn't your email. Always use your email. And passwords. There's a button on the login page that says forgot password. I can't reset your password. I'm just gonna direct you to that button. So go ahead and use it. It will send you an email, which is why I said when you sign up, you have to use your actual email address, because if you put something fake in there, you're never gonna get a password reset email. But the password reset email is really simple. It gives you a link and you click on it and it puts the information it needs on the screen. All you need to do, I think, is confirm your email address and hit submit, and it'll let you redo your password. It's very, very simple. I think probably the biggest thing I can say is just pretend that you're confident with it. Even if you're not, pretend that you're confident. It is a very user-friendly system. It's an easy system, but you need to give it a chance. That's the biggest thing. I know there were a lot of struggles with it when it first came out. I know there was a lot of problems in the background. I have those issues worked out. That was the first thing I did, was work out the problems. So, just give it a chance, be nice to it, and it'll be nice to you. The same with me. Be nice to me if you have a problem, and I'll be nice right back. We work the same way. Other questions?
Okay, I guess not. You did such a great job. And now we know where to find you. We all know where to find you.
Know where to find me.
Heather, thank you so much. I have to tell you, last year I was actually doing Zoom meetings with members and walking them through. And this one was an officer, that one was non-officer, this was this officer, and that one was a first sign on, another was, used it before. And it just was so confusing to everybody. And I was going, no, you have to go to this other drop down menu because you've done this before. So you can't just walk through the front door. So this has been great. Your overhaul, I know, is going to make it an awful lot easier for everybody. So thank you. And thank you for being with us tonight.
Absolutely, not a problem.